I mean, who have we got? Morning, ladies. We're coming in. Morning, everybody. It's sunny here in sunny Newham this morning, which is good. Just wait to see if we get a couple more. I think we've got 5. Yeah, there we go. Another one coming in. Morning, Bissy. Morning, Berta. Hope you're all feeling well today. So give me a thumbs up in the chat, or let me know if there's any issues this morning. How you feeling generally, whether there's any areas you want to concentrate on today. Otherwise, we will do another kind of general good mobilizing session this morning, and maybe with a little bit more shoulder strengthening again today. See if we've got anybody else coming in. And just to let you know as well, if you are in Newham, we have moved the post and prenatal walk, one of the post and prenatal walks, to a Sunday morning. So I'll be starting that one tomorrow at 11 o'clock. We're going to meet at Newham, the Greenway entrance near to the hospital and the school. So if you do know anybody that's pre or postnatal, then and they're in Newham, then get them to get in touch with Active Newham. They just need to register, fill in the medical health questionnaire information, and then they can join the walk. And next week on Monday and Tuesday, I'm starting my This Girl Can classes in Newham. So a range of classes, again, to help people get back into exercise, to experience a range of different exercises. So those will start Monday. Monday, I've got a class at the East London Gymnastics Centre, and Tuesday night at the Ascension Village Hall, Ascension Church Hall, even, not Village Hall. So if you want to have a go at those, we'll do a little bit box fit, a little bit dance fit, a little bit Pilates, a little bit yoga, do some little bit of fitness testing yourself, looking at your own fitness levels, and obviously some relaxation at the end, because you do all need that as well. So, okay, so I think we've got 5 in, so we'll make a start. Is coming up to 20 past. So if you want to come up onto your feet and come into your nice steady Pilates stance to begin with. So feet hip width apart, a little bit wider if you have any balance issues, or you just feel more comfortable with the feet a little bit wider. And then just take the weight equally on both feet, have a little look down, make sure all the toes are facing forwards, not turning outwards or inwards with the feet if you can. And just take the weight and start to rock backwards and forwards, side to side. Just gently shifting the weight back onto the heels, onto the toes. And as always in this class, if there's anything that doesn't feel quite right, if you have any issues or sudden sharp pain during the class, please put something in the chat. Kevin or I will just double check that everything's okay. Otherwise, just working at your own pace. If you know any alternatives or higher lower options that you want to take today, then please work with your own body. So coming and bringing your weight, so it's on little toe, big toe, and a little bit of weight on the heels. So you might just want to shift that weight gently backwards. Try and focus on pulling up through the legs, making sure the weight is pushing out over the little toes, so that the knees aren't rolling in, the hips aren't rolling in. Just squeeze them outwards and draw everything upwards. Gentle pull up through the belly, so pulling up as if you're zipping a zip into your belly button, and then pulling your belly button through as if you're pulling a string back to your spine. And that should just gently tilt the pelvis under. So if you've got that little bit of engagement in the belly, it's just going to tilt that pelvis under. So you shouldn't have to really try to, you're not forcing the hips under, remember. So just coming into that nice Pilates stance, lifting the collar across the collarbones, lifting the crown of the head, and then circling the shoulders backwards. So coming to these nice shoulder circles. So today, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. So circling through, breathing in, breathing out, keeping that connection on the little toe. Big toe, bring the weight back onto the heels. Good, 2 more with these shoulders. And then take the hands up to the shoulders, start to circle the elbows, a little higher if you can, see how they feel. So don't worry too much if you get a little few clickies and creaks in the shoulders, as long as they're not any sharp, sudden pain. Good, pulling that navel upwards and inwards, last one, and then relax the hands down. Take the chin drop, so just breathing out, just drop the chin down, coming all the way back up, turn it to one side, coming back to the center. And again today, remembering if you're doing the whole session standing, or you need to do any of the exercises seated, that's fine. Just put a little message in the chat so that I know that that's what you're doing. We'll come down a little bit to the mat, but mainly this nice mobilizing session today, which is also what I'm going to be doing in the park after this. So if anybody does want to get out as well, then still doing my park sessions. We do a little bit more active stuff in the park. We do a lot more lunges, a lot more squats. I made them work hard last week and did a few like kind of innie and outy squats. Really good for the knees. So if you've got any knee issues, ankle issues, they're really good. Good. One more circle forwards. And then let's take a side bend. So bring the hands to the side of the body and just squeeze the bottom under and take a side bend. Coming back up. Obviously, to some extent with these classes, as I can't see you, I do tend to play it a little safe with what I give you, so that I know that there's kind of no risk that you'll be doing anything too incorrectly that could put more strain on your back, especially. Good. A couple more each side. So just coming down to the side, make sure that both shoulders are pressing backwards. But it's always nice to be able to see people as well, just to have that interaction, I think. So if you are in Newham and you can face coming out at some point, it would be lovely to meet you all. I know I've met some of you already, a couple of you, but it's been a while. Come back to the centre. Let's take this gentle hip hitch today. So we're going to come up onto the toes of one foot and then hitch the hip up and come back and lower down. Let's go other side. So bend the knee, hitch the hip up, and just notice any tension in that lower back. So it might be more on one side, might feel perfectly okay. But just notice if there's any tension as you start to hitch. Pull that belly button in again, so keeping nice and strong through the core. So take the leg up, draw in, and come back. Good. Couple more on each side. So pulling up, draw in, and last one. Good. We're going to take a gentle pelvic tilt back now. So you can come a little bit more into a squat if you want to. Otherwise, zipping up through this belly, gently squeezing the pelvis under. So breathing in. So as you breathe in, zipping up, little shift with the pelvis, squeeze and relax. So it's not really too much movement. You're just trying to encourage that sacrum to drop down underneath the spine, but pulling up with that pelvic floor, pulling in with the belly button as if you're zipping up a zip inside, and then releasing. So one more, zipping up, keep the knees soft and release. Release out. Good. Let's come to this higher with the hips this time. So arms out for balance if you need to. And remember, you can come back to this rock if you don't want to lift the leg. So just lifting up, take it out, draw it all the way back. You can put the hands on the bony bits of the hips. Just make sure those hips stay level, fairly level when you do this. So you're not dropping the hip down again to try and take it up. Try and keep it nice and level. And then opposite side. So 4 on one side, 4 on the opposite side. Keeping that connection with the big toe on the ground this time could be quite difficult. My weight shifts a little because this hip is still a little tight. Got to work on that one myself. We've all got our little challenges with our own bodies. Good. Come back to the center. Let's take a side stretch again. So come down to the side and just ease out again, pushing that shoulder back, keeping the head in line so we're not dropping the ear, just keeping the head in line. Good. And again, come down to the side. And I apologise if my voice is a little hoarse today. I have had more classes this week. But I also went for a nice walk with a friend yesterday, so we probably talked each other's heads off. Come down to the side, last one. Good. Give a little walk through the legs. So just walking those legs out, bending those knees. And we're going to come up onto the toes. So just coming up onto both feet. So coming up onto the toes, lifting up and lowering down. See how the balance is. So coming all the way up and down, and again shifting up onto the toes and down. Good. One more, shifting up and down. Good. Let's come into our squat. So drawing up with this pelvic floor, squeezing the bottom underneath, and then sitting back. You can bring the feet together for this one if you want to. Squeeze the thighs or keep the feet nice and wide. But make sure you're sitting that bottom back onto the heel. So coming up, pulling up, drawing in, and then sitting back. Keep that weight on the heels. Come all the way. So we're not arching that pelvis. We're tucking under, pulling in, coming down. Nice straight back. Good. Coming all the way back up. So breathing out. You can lean forwards a little, but keep the back straight. Coming back up. 2 more. Oh, I think we might have a couple more joined in. Let's have a look. Keep going. Yeah, a couple more in. Morning, Mary. Morning, looking. Good, good. Hoping you're all okay today. Good. Let's come to the roll down. So remember, with the roll down, we're trying to roll down through the upper body first, mobilizing the upper body rather than hinging at the hips. So we want to really focus on this tucking under to begin with, softening the knees, rolling the shoulder forward, relaxing, tucking the chin in, and then rolling down through this upper spine. Make the shoulders come forwards. Make everything heavy forwards, bringing the weight over the toes. Keep coming if you're feeling okay. You can relax a little, but bring the weight forwards. Try not to sit the bottom right back. Try and bring the weight forwards, rounding through that spine. And then rounding slowly all the way up, stacking each vertebrae, keeping the head heavy. Rolling all the way up slowly through the spine, all the way up. Circle the shoulders backwards. We're going to float the arms and then draw the elbows back. So elbows level with the chest. Imagine you're bringing your thumbs into your armpits. So pulling back, pushing out. Good. Let's do the roll down again. So we're going to do 4. Rolling down, tuck the chin in. Keep this weight forwards. Just gently releasing. Remember, you can just bring, if you've got any back issues, just bring the hands onto the thighs and support. Otherwise, just going to where the back will allow. Not going any further, especially as we are early in the morning. Although I did wake up at 5. Bring the legs, arms up, squeezing back. pushing out. We're going to do 2 of these. So squeezing out, pulling back. Good. And then 2 more roll downs. So roll shoulders forwards, relax them, tuck the chin in. Breathing out as you come down, but trying to pull that navel in towards the spine. So breathing out, gentle roll down. Roll, roll, roll. Keep the weight forwards. Take another breath if you need to. Hold at the bottom if you want to. Roll all the way slowly back up. Keeping that head heavy till you get to the top. Coming all the way up. Slowly circle the shoulders backwards. Squeeze that bottom, draw in belly. Squeezing back elbows. And again, squeezing back. A little bit of a crunch there, and then come all the way again. Last one. So rolling down, tuck the chin in nice and slowly, bringing the weight forwards, releasing all the way down, rolling all the way back up. Circling shoulders backwards, floating arms, squeezing back. Last one. Good. Let's come to the toe tap. So we're just going to tap the toe out in front, tap out to the side. We're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg today, just for a little bit of brain gym as well. So, and then we're going to come down and do that same kind of movement on the mat as an option. So we're going to tap out, right arm, left leg. So tapping out, bring the arm out in front, tap out. So we're going to do 4 on each side, tap out. And tap out. Good. Opposite side. So tap out, opposite arm, opposite leg, tap out. So a bit of brain gym, bit of mobility in the hip and in the shoulders, and then come out to the side. So opposite arm, we're going to go out to the side, come back, pull in with this pelvic floor, squeeze the bottom, try and balance on that big toe still. Coming back, opposite side, take it out. Good. Good. 4 calf raises. So come up onto the heels, lifting up, releasing down, pushing down, big toe, little toe. Good. Oh, I'm a bit creaky today. Good. Come down. So we're going to do opposites this time, opposite one, opposite leg. So left, right arm, left leg. So take it out and then bring the opposite one. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Testing the balance. Come back to that nice steady position each time. Good. We'll do one more. She says wobbling on the mat and then out to the side. So opposite arm, opposite leg. I've got a nice thick cork mat. It's really nice, but it isn't sometimes the best on my balance at the moment. Good. One more. Okay, so we're going to roll down onto the mat. We're going to come into our little cat-cow and our Superman. So if you want to stay standing, you're just going to do the roll down again. And just a little roll down, look up and come back. And then when we come back, you're going to do opposite arm, opposite leg with the arm above the head. So opposite arm, opposite leg with the arm above the head. So if you want to stay standing, that's the equivalent of what we're going to do down on the mat. You're coming down onto the mat, roll down all the way down. Releasing down, bring the weight forwards, walk the hands out. Option to come to plank first if you want a little bit of weight on the wrists. It's good to take the weight on the wrists, even if they do feel a little tender, because we are building up that wrist strength, really good for women especially, and to try and prevent osteoarthritis. Come down onto the knees and come into our cat-cow. So elbows facing in, little bend if you know you're hypermobile in that area. Pull the belly in, flat back, rounding through the spine, and then releasing through the spine. So lifting up through the belly, rounding through the spine. Releasing through the spine. Good, one more, rounding through the spine. And then come back to that flat back. And let's come to the arm and leg. So opposite arm and leg, I'll come this way on to start with so you can see. So opposite arm and leg, we're going to take the right leg out, right arm out, left leg back. So take it all the way out, pull in with that belly nice and strong, and then come all the way back in. And we're going to alternate. So we're going to do 4 on each side. So pull up, push down through the shoulders, take opposite arm, opposite leg out, thumb can turn up, pulling in, lifting up, coming all the way back. Try not to let the knee drop. Try and control it when it comes back on the arm. So reaching out long, breathing out, lifting up, pulling up through the core, and then coming all the way back in. Good. Opposite side. So lifting out, pulling up, coming all the way back in. And if you want to rest, remember, come back onto the heels into your child's pose and just release all the way out. When you've done the last one, come back into your child's pose. So stretching all the way back. Just come into that child's pose and just releasing out. If you're standing up, just a gentle roll down and then come back up to standing. And then we're going to take that sideways movement. So we did the sideways one standing this way. So with the on the hands and knees, we're going to reach out long first and then draw out to the side. So we're going to reach out long first, breathe out, push down through that standing hand, and then let the arm and leg drift out to the side. Come all the way back to the middle and come all the way back in. So again, we're going to do 4 on each side. So draw the belly in, reaching out long, thumb up, and then just drifting out. So try and keep that leg, can't probably see at that angle, but try and keep that leg nice and long at hip height, and it just drifts out. Keep this hip rolling down towards the ground and come back to the center. So you're not rolling this hip out to get the leg round further. You want to make sure that hip is down towards the ground and it stays down towards the ground. Good. So 4 on each side. And then again, coming all the way back down, just releasing down through the body. Just take a few breaths. And just noticing how that one felt. Good. So if you're comfortable down here in your child's pose and your bottom is down on your heels, we're going to take a side stretch. So bottom down, we're going to move the hands over to one side and feel this stretch along the outside edge of the body. If this isn't comfortable down here, or if you're standing, you can either come back to a seated position here or a standing position, lift the arms above the head, gently take hold of one wrist and come over into that side stretch. So really gently, you're not pulling on the wrist, you're just supporting the hand and coming over, or you can even just bring the both hands together, come back to the center. Keep the elbows soft still. If you're in this wide leg pose, bring the hands back to the center and then gently walk them over to the opposite side. So try and keep your head in the middle of your arms so that your head you aren't moving the arms and keeping the head still. You're trying to move the arms and then move the head so it's back in the middle. So let's do 2 on each side. Come back to the center if you've done both sides. And then walk over again. So maybe you walked one step the first time, hold it there, and then maybe see if you can just take another step over with the arms, just go a little bit further the second time. So this is a really good one for any issues with back pain and sciatica. I know you think, oh my gosh, like I can't do that one, I've got a bad back. But actually it's a really good one. And if you have got a back your shoe and you can't get the bottom down, you can always take your cushion, put your cushion or your pillow underneath so that the bottom is raised a little bit, and then come down. Obviously, if you've got any knee issues, you can always put your cushion, another cushion or a towel underneath the knees, so you've got a little bit more padding under there. So yeah, anything where we're doing anything on the knees, or you can roll your mat up a little bit more. Sometimes while my mat's a little bit, you can roll your mat up so you've got double mat underneath your knees. So lots and lots of options always when you go to a Pilates class, or when you do a Pilates class online. Always make sure you've got what you need to do and you're adjusting to what you need to do. Good. If you're still down in this position, come all the way back up, bring the legs round to the front, and we're just going to do a side bend. So just let the knees drop out to one side. If you're standing, do that side roll with the leg we started with. So just a side open hip opener. Come back to the centre. Again, the benefits of me being able to see you all is that I can tell what you can, how you're feeling and how your movement is. Although I do love doing the webinars. I do like to see people. Good. Bring it back to the centre. Take it to the opposite side. Come back to the centre. One more. Good. So if you're seated, take the legs out long in front. If you're standing, just standing nice and tall. Breathing in, pulling up through the body. Hands to the side of the body. You're just going to point and flex the feet. So point and flex. Really important as well to get the feet moving. If you're standing, you can just point and flex, or tap, toe tap. Toe tap if you're seated. So just point and flex. And then start to circle the ankles. Circle them outwards. And circle them inwards. And then point and flex. So really important as we go out and start to walk a lot more. Get out, and even if we're going out for meeting people for coffee or having a meal out, we're still getting out and walking more than we used to maybe. So really important to get these feet moving. Good. So we're going to I forgot what I was going to do next. Oh, lying on the back. We're going to do a little bit of work for the belly. So toe tap downs. If you're standing, you can do the knee lift. So let me show you first. So we're going to come down onto the belly. I will just show you the legs. So we're going to come down onto the belly, draw the belly in, find this nice little hollow with the belly, and bring one leg up to tabletop. So some of you have done this one before, and you've done it with both legs from tabletop, so you can do. So from tabletop, we're just going to draw the belly in. As you breathe out, keep nice and strong here. Tap the toe down to the ground and then lift back up. Only to knee over hip. Don't bring the leg any further in. So just knee over hip, toe taps all the way down, keeping strong here in the core, and then lifting all the way back up. We're going to try for 6 today on each side before we slowly lower the leg back down. And then draw the belly in, slowly lower the opposite leg back up. So 6 on each side. If you're standing, pulling the belly in, you're going to do the leg lift up, tap down. So always an option. Still working this core, lifting up, lowering down. So similar kind of movement. You're not getting as much movement maybe in the hip or in the core, but you are still doing it. So just slowing down. So really focus on the control of the movement. You might think, oh, this is an easy one to do. Make sure have you focused and got that control around the core, not allowing this back to arch when you drop the leg down, really pulling up pelvic floor, feeling that nice gentle hollow and that hip stability. So you can always put the hands here. You should feel this part of your body, the abdominals, working. nice and nice, a little bit tight. As you lower down, breathe out. Breathing in, lift up, breathe wide into the ribs. Tighten and breathe out, lower down. So we're going to do 2 sets on each side. So 2 sets of 6. If you want to, after the first set and you're feeling strong, draw both knees up over the hips. Make sure again this back isn't arching, pulling up here. You can do opposite side. So breathing out, lower down, coming all the way back up. Breathing out, lower down. But make sure there's no arching that back as you lower the leg. If that back is arching, putting too much strain on this lower back, and it means the abdominals are still a little bit weak. They will get stronger, but they have to get strong in the right position. If they're getting stronger because this back is arching, it's not doing the back or the abdominals any good. So you really need to be in this nice, strong position, working at your own pace. When you've done 6 again on each side, draw both knees into the chest, gently rotating through the legs. And the opposite way. Good. And then rolling back onto one side. Come back up to seated. Up to standing if you're standing, and come back into this cross-leg position. So we're going to come to a twist now. So again, if you're standing, grab a chair if you can do, and come and do this one seated on a chair. So nice side twist. And if you're seated on the ground and it's too uncomfortable, grab your pillow, cushion, stick it underneath your bottom, come a little higher up, or yoga block if you've got a yoga block. So coming a little higher up. Good. So we're going to come to our seated twist. Drawing the belly in, take the right hand across to the left side, opposite one behind. Take a nice deep breath in, and then rotating through the spine, gentle rotation. Come and look behind the shoulder. Just behind the shoulder, and behind there. And then coming all the way back. I'm going to have a little challenge at the end of class, only a little one. Come back to the centre, so I want you to do a little bit of twisting first. Lifting up into the core, and then just a gentle side twist, pushing the shoulder back, drawing the belly in. And come back to the centre. Good, one more, drawing up, sitting tall, lifting up. Mary, I'm going to challenge your core in a minute because I know how strong it's becoming. And coming back to the centre. Lifting up, hand to thigh, coming all the way across. Gentle twist. And coming back to the centre. Good. Come back over onto hands and knees. So we are going to come and try and do plank and side plank. So be sensible. Do what feels good for your body. So 2 options with this one, drawing the belly in. So if you're standing, I will give you another option, but let me know in the chat if you're standing. Please put a comment in the chat if you're standing to do these next couple of exercises. Otherwise, if you're down on the mat and you're going to come and try and do plank and side plank, start off, if you come into your whole plank, hold your whole plank. If you want to do it slowly, take one foot back, toes on the ground. Remember, big toe, little toe connection. Toe on the ground, draw the belly in, and then really slowly reach that other leg back. So you're coming slowly into that plank, looking down onto the fingers and making sure your shoulders are directly over your wrists. Most of the challenge of plank is if your hands are too far forwards and your bottom is too far back, you're putting too much weight through the shoulder. You want that weight to go all the way straight down the arm. So start with the hands over the shoulders, shoulders over hands, knees underneath the hips, and then just take that 1 foot back and other foot back, and then you'll be in the right place. So when you need to release back down, release one knee down, release the opposite knee down, take a release through the shoulders if you want to. We're going to do 2 more of those. If you're in your plank, just hold your plank. So coming all the way back up, elbows in, take one foot back. So building this core strength, weight on the hands. Take the opposite one back. And then coming all the way down and down. Good. Make sure you alternate the legs. So we're going to do 2 more. So take the opposite leg back this time. Oh, she says, doing the same leg. Opposite leg back, little toe, big toe down. Make sure this outer hip is rolling down to the floor. It hasn't started to roll up. Take the opposite leg back. Hold and breathe. Elbows in. And then lowering that knee, sitting back. Good. Give those hands a little roll, just relax out through the wrist. So we're going to come into our side plank again. 2 options, building a little bit more shoulder strength, core strength, but 2 options. You can come into it from your low 4-point kneeling. So if you're coming into it from 4-point kneeling, you're going to put your weight on one hand and one knee, and slowly start to pivot on this bottom knee. Watch your knees as well on this one if you do need support underneath it. Pivot on your one knee so your leg comes round and your opposite leg comes out, and then you're going to squeeze the hips up and squeeze the legs up. So let me show you from opposite angle. So like from this angle. So you're going to pivot round on this knee and lift the leg out and push the hips forwards and up. Make sure again this shoulder is over the hand. Haven't got this shoulder back here somewhere. Shoulder over hand, hips squeeze forwards, bottom squeezes, belly button draws in. So you're coming into your low plank, low side plank. If you're coming into the full side plank, easier to bring the hand across. So bring the hand into the center, foot into the center, and then rotate around. So coming over again, shoulder over hand. If that shoulder is too far back, too much pressure through that shoulder, not enough focus through the core. So just gently rotating. If you have any shoulder issues, wrist issues, just be mindful. So bringing that hand and that leg in, just rotating around, lifting up. Just holding for as long as you can, coming back down, lowering all the way back down. My shoulders are still getting there. They are getting there. But having had this long-term shoulder issue, still a little tight in that side plank sometimes. I had a heavy yoga session on Thursday, so I'm feeling it today. Good. When you've done the last one, come back down to seated. And just start to circle those shoulders back. So just releasing through the shoulders. Just breathing in, breathing out. And remembering throughout the session, especially as we get warmer, take a drink if you need it. I'm just going to sip some of my lemon water. So do take a water break if you need to, and try and hydrate before class and after class. So I normally have my lemon water first thing in the morning. Helps with clearing everything out as well. Good. We're going to come on to the back to finish. A few little twists and then a little bit of a hamstring stretch as well. So come on to the back. Really good one, this one again, for releasing through the spine. Draw the belly in. We're just going to draw that left knee in towards the chest. So just hold behind the leg. Nice knee hug to begin with. Just hug it. And you can do this one on the bed. It's better on the solid floor, but you can do this one on the bed if you've got any back issues first thing in the morning. Relax the shoulders down. Draw that left leg in. And then lower all the way back down. Under control with the belly again. Drawing the right knee in, just draw it all the way in. Hold and breathe. Relax the shoulders. And then releasing down. So you can stay with this movement if you want to, depending on how tight the back is. Or you can bring that left knee in again, hold it in, relax the shoulders, start to straighten the legs so you're getting that hamstring stretch. Try not to let the leg drift all the way out. Try and keep it a little bit further closer in, and then start to just gently slide the hand up the calf if you can. Point the toes away. Draw that leg a little closer in, and then point and flex the toes. So point and flex the toes again. So the leg doesn't have to be straight. It's better to be a little bit bent, but finding this gentle, maybe this gentle stretch here, softening the knees. So pulling back and then circling the ankle again. Just gently circling. And then draw the knee into the chest, find that release. And lower down. Good, coming opposite side. So draw the knee in, hold and breathe, draw the belly in, take that leg up. If you can, take the hand up the calf. You can keep it down here on the thigh if you want to. Point and flex the feet. And if you're seated, remember there is an option to do this one seated and standing. You can stand against the wall and do your calf stretches. Hamstring stretches you can do standing. Good, circling that ankle one way, the opposite way. Draw it in a little closer if you can. And then release into the chest. Just find that release. And lower down. Good, bring both feet together and both knees together on the ground. And just take the arms out horizontal, so that horizontal out level just below the shoulders. And then tilt the pelvis up a little and take the legs to the right hand side. So just let them start to drop out towards the right side. Make sure this foot comes off the ground. You're not trying to keep one foot on the ground. So rolling down through the feet. So just rolling to one side. And then pulling the belly button in and bringing the weight back to the centre, knees back to the centre, and opposite side. You can have the feet a little further away from the bottom, so they're just coming over and you're finding this stretch, or a little closer, or you can have the knees into the chest and take the knees over so the knees and feet are coming towards the floor. Try not to hover in midair though. You want to have the feet or the knees down on the ground so you're feeling this stretch down into the outer hip. So relaxing the body down, coming all the way back to centre. So if you're coming over with the knees and the feet up, make sure they come all the way over. At the end, you find that release. Both shoulders down on the ground. Coming all the way back to centre. Good. This time, as you take the legs to one side, look along the opposite arm. So knees to one side, looking along that opposite arm. So looking down the opposite shoulder, making sure that shoulder is down on the ground. And then come back to the centre. Make sure you settle the pelvis. Opposite side. Back to the centre. Good. Give yourself a gentle hug. Rock round with the legs if you want to, or rock side to side. And then come into a releasing position. So either feet hip width apart, knees dropped in, or if you're feeling really open from the back, slide the legs out, have the ankles turned out. Come into typical Shavasana or corpse pose from yoga. Hands on the belly. And just take a few breaths. So breathing in, breathing out. Just take those few breaths there. And start to focus on the head. Start to focus on relaxing the eyes behind the eyelids. Take a few breaths. So as you breathe in and out, see if you can close the eyes. Just focus on relaxing the eyes behind the eyelids. And as you focus and you breathe, start to deepen the breath. So breathing in for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4. And start to soften down through the nose, the jaw. Soften through the muscles of the jaw. We often hold a lot of tension in the jaw. This jaw tension goes all the way down the body into the hips. So if you're tight in the hips, think about when you're breathing and when you're exercising, do I clench my jaw or is my jaw really tight? Try and relax the jaw. And then slowly turn the head to one side. Breathing out, turn your head to one side. Just noticing how the head feels. Bring it back to the center. Keep the eyes closed if you can. And again, breathing out for 4. So breathe out for a count of 4. Nice and slowly. Coming back to the center. Breathing in. Good. One more. Turning the head to each side. And head back to the center. Then place the hands on the belly and take 5 deep breaths into the belly. So feel that belly expand as the breath comes in. And release, pull the belly button in towards the navel as the breath goes out. So breathing in wide into the belly. Breathing out, drawing the navel back in. So this belly breathing again is a really good one to do for relaxation. You can just make a mindful moment in the day to do 5 belly breaths. Again, maybe first thing in the morning when you wake up or last thing at night before you go to bed. Really does help to calm the mind. And then take your attention down your back into your hips, all the way down your legs and into your feet. Give your toes a little wiggle. Give your hands a little wiggle. And then bring your breath back to a normal breath. If you need to stretch, take a full body stretch. Take the arms overhead. That feels good. Or give yourself a hug. Bring the legs into the chest. Give yourself a nice gentle hug. And then start to feel a bit more movement in the body. Gently roll onto one side. Come back up to a seated position. Open the eyes and rub the hands together today. Rub the hands together. And we're just going to rub them from the top of the face. So from the crown of the forehead, just take a little gentle rub around the outside edge of your face, underneath the chin, and maybe just down the throat if that feels good. And then do that again. So just starting at the crown. This is where our fascia starts. So when we do trigger point, you learn all about the fascia. This is where our fascia starts. So just, and can be tight around the head. So just rolling down the face. And then just if the neck feels okay, just a gentle stroke down the face, down the neck. And one more. So just releasing any final tension down your face and releasing down. Good. Thank you very much. Any questions, any comments, please ask. If you're interested in any of my classes or any of the active Newham classes, then again, please do put a comment in the chat and get in touch. Otherwise, we are going to be continuing these sessions through the neighbourhood teams. So there'll be another session next week, and then there'll be a break while I'm away.
And then I think there'll be more sessions, but not quite sure yet how you'll register for those. So I think Active Newham will sort that one out so that you're aware. Thank you, everybody. So yeah, have a lovely rest of the weekend. Good, that's good, Beata. Hope to see you in person at some point. Come and have a go at the trigger point. It will be really good for your ankles and your shoulder. So yeah, good. Any more comments? Well, have a lovely rest of the weekend. Get out in the sunshine if you can. Try and do a little bit of exercise outdoors as well as indoors on Zoom. And yeah, look after yourself. Keep